Mike's E-Keys for Cars, Tavern Blue on the Coralville Strip, Supple's Building and Remodeling, 1-800-800-ROSE, the Midtown Family Restaurants, Harty and Stocker Jewelers, Diamond Dream Sports Academy, Senior Benefits, Premier Automotive, Dirk Sterner Taxidermy, the Ox Yoke Inn, Streets Maintenance, Dr. Lance Forbes and Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Good morning, Tom Suter.
Well, good morning, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How was your weekend?
My weekend was very good, I would say.
Good.
Went to play yesterday.
Yeah, which one?
At Coralville Center of the Performing Arts. It was great. Anastasia.
Oh, nice.
And it was a musical, and it was just fabulous, and it's there for at least another weekend. And I believe there's some tickets still available, so do it. It was great.
Bring the whole family with you?
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Cool.
Yeah, Ann and the girls and I.
Is that kind of a holiday thing, or just, I mean, I know it's very, a lot of pomp and circumstance and stuff with that.
No, I wouldn't say holiday, no. But it was real good, and the girls had 3 friends that were in the play.
Oh, neat.
So, yeah, that was very cool. And then, in addition to that, watched 800 football games.
There were lots of them.
2 basketball games. And, so got pretty well sportsed out, I thought. But it was, some good games. I enjoyed watching all the ones that I watched, and it was good. 2 basketball games didn't work out quite so well for the University of Iowa, but what you going to do?
Boy, the women, they had a real problem with turnovers.
Boy, did they.
30 turnovers in a game, that's not good.
Too many.
Yeah.
Way too many.
But as people have said, they'll learn from that.
I hope so, because they played pretty well, but you can't turn it over 30 times and win very often.
Right.
Mr. Harty, good morning.
Good morning.
How are things in your world?
I'm hanging in there.
So?
Yeah, hanging in there. Did not watch as much sports as you did, it sounds like. Watched the 2 games you're talking about. Watched a little bit of football, but starting to get footballed out, to be honest with you.
Well, so then the 65 bowl games or whatever.
I won't watch most of them. I will not even glance at.
I won't either. I will probably watch the Big Ten ones
I'll watch some
much
of those.
as I can.
I won't. Who's the Pinstripe Bowl? I'm not going to watch.
Pinstripe Bowl would be your old pals from Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the bowls it's almost like they just don't even matter anymore.
Did you watch the Iowa State football game yesterday?
I
Saturday?
watched most of the first half, but when they fell far behind, I quit watching.
Yeah,
I watched. I would say at least half of it.
It reminded me of watching Iowa on a big stage.
It did.
It was very similar. They played the way Iowa does on a big stage.
They made some serious errors, and so they had like 3 turnovers in a row, just like Iowa has.
Yeah. And Arizona State's good.
Real good.
That coach has done a hell of a job down there. He really has.
Because they had picked them last in the conference.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Herm Edwards he was not a good hire.
No.
It did not work. And this guy, I think his last name's Dillingham.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
34 years old.
Yeah, he looks like he's 10.
Yeah.
But no, he's done a heck of a job. They looked way better than Iowa State.
They looked great, and that running back was freaking amazing.
Scattaboo?
Scattaboo.
What a great name for a running back.
What's his first name, Zach?
Bo.
Bo Scattaboo.
He says that he's the best running back in college football. I'm not ready to go there. He's good.
Well, he was awfully good.
But he's not better than, I don't think he's better than Caleb or Ashton Genty from... I'd probably take Ohio State's 2 running backs.
He's sure different.
Yeah, he's a big, stocky Robert Newhouse from the Dallas Cowboys. That's what he kind of. I'm really aging myself.
Boy, and he gets up ahead of steam. I sure wouldn't want to tackle that kid.
Yeah. That'd be it'll be hard for him to run that way for a lot of years in the NFL.
Yeah. But I was impressed.
Yeah, no, he ran hard, and Iowa State just didn't play very well.
No, they didn't.
And Purdue has hired Barry Odom, who did a hell of a job at UNLV. That will be interesting.
Was he at Mizzou?
He was at Mizzou, and he did okay there, but he had UNLV really rolling in. Yeah, that'll be an interesting. If Indiana and Purdue are both good, that's just going to make it harder.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. I'd watch the Iowa-Michigan basketball game, and I'd keep turning it back and forth to see how Iowa State was doing.
Yeah.
And every time I'd turn over there, it looked like the Arizona State had gotten another touchdown.
That was kind of the case.
Yeah, 45-10. That's when I was like, or 39-10 or whatever. That's when I was done. 38-10.
45.
Yeah, I quit watching then.
45-19 was that the final?
Yeah, it was the final. Yep.
And the Iowa men, their one problem was that they weren't doing well in making their free throws.
No, and that's been a recurring problem so far, and they need to figure that bad boy out.
What was the final
in a
score
hurry.
again?
It was 2 points.
What was the final, though? Was it 8? They also didn't play good. I mean,
No, they
The
didn't.
free throws are big. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more worried about their defense wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't, and Peyton's got to get off to better starts.
But
And,
without him, they're not in the game. I mean,
no.
he led them in scoring.
It was 85-83. Pat.
Yeah, 85. That's too many points.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
That's just too many points to give up.
And then I wasn't so sure about some of that at the end where we traveled and they got the.
So you're questioning the officials?
What?
Well, I was
There's a
questioning
shock.
some of the calls there, yeah, but that still didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The play at the end there, Iowa fans are saying he was fouled.
Well, he probably was, but maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it was.
Well, when they talked to him afterwards, he said, yeah, he got kind of mauled there, but he said the ball still didn't go in.
Yeah,
so.
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't exactly word it that way. He didn't. He didn't disagree that maybe he was fouled, but right away Price said, "But if I wouldn't have let Roddy Gale drive to the basket for the goaltend was another questionable call."
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
I mean, yeah, it was. But I don't know. I still say worry more about giving up 85 points.
Yep, and Price's shot actually looked pretty good, didn't it? I thought it had a
Well,
shot of going
I
in.
didn't think it. To me, it looked short, but I couldn't believe he even got it off that much with the angle that he had to take, and and I couldn't believe he caught Thelwell's pass from across court. But Michigan defended it.
They did.
Well, and some will say too well, that he didn't give him a place to
Well, they
land.
got some tall guys.
Yeah, that
do.
transfer from Yale or whatever,
Yeah.
Wolf, he's good.
He is good.
Better than I thought. But the defense was terrible. They shouldn't let a big guy like that get to the basket like that on
No.
dribble penetration.
Yeah.
That was
and
bad.
And the girls, they were keeping right up with them until the very end. They just let them have 14 straight points.
Well, that Tennessee team, skill-wise, is terrible. They have maybe 2 girls that can shoot.
They're
They just won.
athletic.
They just won with
Cooper
athletics
was the one that kind of led them.
and persistence. And
Yeah.
I feel bad for Jan. They mic'd her, and I do agree with what Jan was saying. Hey, they're more athletic. They jump higher. We're a better team. I still think Iowa has more skill.
I agree.
But that didn't matter if you can't bring the ball up the court.
No.
Tennessee had a way to win, and I give
And
them credit.
when the game was on the line, Iowa didn't play any defense.
Tennessee missed 22 three-pointers, and some of them weren't even close.
I was just a little disappointed, but
Well,
it's a
you gotta
long
lose.
season.
She wasn't going to finish undefeated as the Iowa women's coach.
That's right.
So you got it out of the way. Now
Now win the rest of it.
Iowa State won't press like
well,
this
now
team did.
they can get busy and they can beat Iowa State when they come on Tuesday.
Yeah, or is it Wednesday?
Wednesday. isn't it?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game, and
when's the
Thursday
men's-
will be tougher.
And yeah, when's the men is
The men's
Thursday.
game is Thursday at 6:30,
they're both here, aren't they?
Yes.
'Cause Dallas
Yeah.
is going.
and the women's
Well,
game is 8.
I don't know. I'm negotiating with Dallas right now. I may get one of those games in. We'll see. He definitely, I think, wants to cover the women. So we'll see. I can always watch him from home and write from home, but we only get one pass, and he definitely wants to go. So we'll see. Either he or I will be at both games. We may have to do a little negotiating because I'm looking forward to both games. What time's the women game start
6:30.
and the men?
8.
Or no, other way around. Sorry, women at
That's
8,
right.
men at 6:30.
Yeah, women are late.
God, at 8
I
o'clock.
hate that.
But I still think even though the women are late, they'll still have a lot of people there.
Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
there'll be Iowa State. There'll be
you
some
bet.
Iowa State fans
Yeah.
there too, probably.
A lot
Yeah.
of Iowa State people are coming, I think.
You bet.
Yeah, so we'll see.
And then I watched the ACC tournament, football tournament, where Clemson won on the very last second field goal.
Yes, they did. I watched the end of it too.
Boy, I tell you, Sweeney, is that his name? He came out, dabbled.
Dabo.
Came out and he was talking about God had a plan for them and God had done
Yeah,
this and got
whatever.
them
I
all
get so
set
sick of
up.
hearing
and
that crap.
That was there, and I thought, I think God watched, but I don't think he sits there and writes up plans for football.
Yeah, I heard that. The moment he started talking, I changed the channel.
My guess is God would be more interested in like a gardening show. Or
God has nothing to do
like
with
that.
one team winning and another team losing. These people are such idiots.
I mean, God's there. That's it.
I mean, God.
There you go.
Everywhere.
I mean, if you want to give thanks to God for something good that happened, you're not fine. But don't act like that's the reason you won and they lost.
He was on this God
I
thing.
know he is. He's insufferable.
And then his quarterback said the same thing.
He's insufferable.
We held to Jesus Christ who helped us win.
Whatever.
Jesus Christ had nothing to do with it.
I mean, it may inspire people individually.
That's fine.
Sure.
But just don't. We don't have to believe that
But Christ wasn't on the field.
God doesn't pick sides.
No.
You know?
No, and he doesn't sit there and write up football plans.
Yeah.
No. And if he did, I would hope they would be better than most teams come up with.
Yeah. Well, that's the way the story bounces.
Yep.
Well, anyway, I watched that, and I watched a little bit of the Texas one, Texas and Georgia.
I didn't watch.
But I thought Penn State played a good game against Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
High-scoring game, yep.
You know, a lot of those are one-sided. The one team wins by tons. But I thought Penn State did a good job in playing against them.
They did. They did. Oregon's better team.
Do you like our bowl game?
Do I personally? Yes.
I'm not really impacted by it at all.
Because it's drivable.
Well, you asking, do you like the matchup or the game?
Well, yeah. Do you like where the bowl was and
it's
who we
fine.
played?
I mean, it's fine. Going there for the second time in 3 years, I think this could be a tough sell this time around. I mean, you're the exception to the rule.
Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah, you'll go, but I don't think most. I mean, you guys are different. It's kind of your hobby.
It is, but it's also being drivable saves us.
Well, if you want to
$thousands.
drive 15 hours round trip,
Yeah.
some people will say, well, that's 15 hours. It'll be interesting to see. The matchup itself, it all depends. The opt-outs, who knows who will be opted out by then. And
was it Nebraska that got the frozen tundra?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pinstripe Bowl.
Against Boston College.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, they haven't been there for a long time.
Hey,
You might as well enjoy the cold,
I'm
too.
sure that the Big Apple will be great in the middle of December or late December for Nebraska fans.
Yeah. Well, they were warmed up for it by going to that Iowa game.
Well, there you go. But, yeah, good point. Well, Karin, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it.
We'll see you guys.
Well,
Have a good day.
all righty.
Bite.
So you go send anybody down to that?
I'm not sure. No, I'm not gonna. If anyone goes, it'll be me. But I've got a stringer down there that I know that covered it in 22. I think I'm gonna have him do it. Have him cover the actual game. I mean, I'll cover all the bowl stuff leading up to it and with Dallas. But actually, the game now. If I can get out of going and still have the same coverage, I will not go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I just
Fair enough.
And but it depends. I mean, he may not be available this year. 2 years ago, he did a good job. He wrote a game story and he did a notebook from the game and seemed to enjoy it. And I think I paid him $250. That's not bad for.
Oh.
But no, I don't know. With Missouri, I have to look to see who's even going to be available. I know they have that star receiver. What's his name? Luther Burden.
I think
Burden.
one of their receivers has already opted out.
Yeah, it's him. Yeah. See, that's just. It's going to be a shell of both teams. That's the problem with bowl games now, especially bowl games like this that are. Let's face it, this is a mid-level. Bowl game.
And Caleb has opted out.
Caleb's
for
out.
Iowa.
Yeah, Caleb's opted out. Well, 3 of Iowa's 5 quarterbacks that started the season are in the transfer portal now. Leonez, Reeser, and McNamara.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, that's right.
And but yeah, we'll see. There's still a lot of time between now and then too to see what happens roster-wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Missouri has one of the best receivers in that. Luther Burden, I think is his name.
Yeah,
he was
that's great.
he was a 5-star phenom recruit, and he was really good for them. But yeah, I think this is his 3rd year, so yeah, he's preparing for the draft. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's all you see now on like ESPN ticker, players opting out of bowl.
It's crazy.
You're going to see it now for the next 2-3 weeks.
Players opting out or jumping
Transfer.
into the portal.
Or going into the portal. Yeah.
Today's the first day the portal is officially
It's officially open.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just means it's official. Like Marco put his his
First
crack.
thing this morning.
He put it on and he actually posted it on Twitter so you could see it. Yeah, and he did it like at 7:00 when it opened. And hey, I don't think I did a story on him from Media Day. He loved it here while he was here, and I know he thought really highly of Kirk Ferentz. He just wants to play, and he's not going to play here.
Well, and of course, the ironic thing is if he hadn't have broken his thumb in practice, he would have been.
I assume he would have been.
Yeah.
I assume. I mean,
yeah.
But it'll be interesting because now that his cast is off, I wonder if he was still behind Stratton, which I would assume he probably was.
Probably.
And maybe that was the final thing. Now we're just guessing here. Maybe that was. I'm not even ahead of Jackson now. I got to try something else out because I think Iowa. Yeah, they're going to go in the portal. My guess is Sullivan's going to be their quarterback next year. I don't think they're going to find anything better. Do you?
I heard Bart Starr is going to be in the portal.
Yeah, I just think
eligibility.
it's
in a box.
It's a tough sell right now.
It is
for a stud quarterback, and if you're a really good quarterback having success, you're probably not going to be in the portal.
Right.
And most of the people in the portal are in there for a reason.
That's right.
They're unhappy and they're looking for a place to play. So the portal is not always the answer to everything.
No.
Sometimes it can lead you to more trouble. That's the vetting that has to go involved. I think if Kirk had to look back at it, you think he would take McNamara if he knew what he knows now?
No,
There's
of
no
course
way.
not.
Yeah. So, but at the time, it was.
At the time, it looked
he
like
was the
excellent.
savior of Iowa football.
Yep.
A program-changing decision.
Well, it sure looked like he had to be better than Spencer performed for us.
And he wasn't.
And he wasn't.
No, he was this year he was kind of Deacon Hill-like.
Very much so.
Yeah. Had a little higher completion percentage, but still, the lane is one. So now they've got Sullivan and Stratton, and then that Kyler Girardi in K. But they got Sullivan. They're going to go into that bowl game with two healthy quarterbacks,
yes.
assuming nobody gets hurt between. Hopefully, Sullivan's not running all over in practice and getting hit. I doubt he is.
Didn't Kirk say they were going to wrap him in bubble wrap?
They'll have two quarterbacks, and we'll see. It'll be interesting because the 9-3 Missouri team is not who they're going to be facing. When you take away, and Iowa, you can say the same about Iowa. When you take away arguably the best player on both teams, it's not the same team.
No, it isn't.
So that's the problem Bulls have. And it doesn't just affect these. A lot of these high-level Bulls get players opted out. If they don't make the playoff, they're done.
For sure.
I wonder if there's ever going to be a time where a team makes the playoff and some player says, I'm done anyway. Playoff, whatever. I got millions to make. That's the next thing that's going to happen.
It will.
That's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, I don't believe. I don't believe it yet. But that will be like that running back from Boise State. I know he would never. Austin Jenney, what if he just, I'm done. My body's beat. I know he won't do that, but that will be the next step, I think.
I think you're right.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys. Greetings from Memphis, Tennessee this morning. How we doing?
Hey, love Memphis.
I do, too. I love being down here. It's partly sunny and 60 degrees where I'm at right now, so I cannot complain.
Are you have you ever eaten at Blue City Diner there?
Being in a big truck, it's kind of hard to get around, but, they don't appreciate it when you drive up and kind of block their drive.
Go to a drive-thru.
Why? You would think they'd enjoy the business.
All right, fair enough. It's a crummy
I've
question.
before in my own car, though, and I've had some really good barbecue here, and it's kind of a toss-up between here and Kansas City.
Fair enough. But, yeah, I love Beale Street.
I was going to ask you and Pat, Mr. Suter, what you guys thought about Michigan being basically taken over Iowa, a 7-5 Michigan team.
You mean as far as getting the Tampa Bay?
The bowl game.
Yeah.
That didn't surprise me.
No, it didn't surprise me
That's not
either.
the first time it's happened. Michigan's done it before to Iowa, too.
Yep.
They're Michigan.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
And it's a more marquee matchup, Michigan, Alabama.
Now, if Iowa was 9-3, it probably wouldn't have happened. And Iowa may have even been in for a better bowl. One game separates them. No, they're going to go with Michigan, especially with Iowa having been there.
Well, and let's be honest, Michigan and Alabama is going to have more eyeballs than
more.
Iowa and Alabama will. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
Yeah, my only disappointment with the bowl game is having to play Missouri again. I saw a few people or a few speculations that it was going to be South Carolina, which I would have thought would have been a fun bowl game. But
Well, we played
bring Missouri, and hopefully we won't have.
Well, actually, we've
dozens of
played
guys in
South
the portal.
Carolina. We played in 08.
More
Missouri,
recently
02.
than-
Well, Missouri 010.
Yeah.
2010. South Carolina was the Sean Green. So 2008. So, but they've only played Missouri once since 1911. The series is 7
I'm
to.
not a big Missouri person. I just, they're. I don't know. I would have liked to have had somebody a little different, somebody from the coast like a South Carolina or,
Yeah.
But that's okay. Hopefully we'll have a good game.
Yeah, I'm actually more interested in Missouri than
Actually,
South
I
Carolina.
am too.
Just because it's closer
really?
and
Yeah.
a school that Iowa recruits against more. I couldn't care less about South Carolina.
I agree
Can I
with
ask
Pat on
why,
this.
Pat, why it's more interesting for you?
Just because it's more local, Iowa recruits against Missouri a lot more. There's just more. It's a border school. It's just South
And
Carolina.
they should be in our conference.
They should be in the Big Ten, and I just couldn't care less about South Carolina. I remember the Sean Green Bowl. That did nothing for me.
I got you. I lived in Charleston for a while.
Well,
and we traveled over to Columbia just to watch a game, and that was such a cool atmosphere over there.
Yeah,
The word that
Charleston.
they kept using was pretty cool too. Their nickname for their team. You walk around and people saying that word all the time, and you're like, "Wow, there's kids here, right?"
Yeah, and I wasn't really expecting to be blown away by their bowl matchup. I mean, it is what it is.
Actually, this is as good as we could have hoped for in a lot of ways. I think it's more with opt-outs. It's going to be a fairly even matchup, methinks. And
Yeah, with the
Iowa,
reading on
Alabama, I
Twitter,
would have been
There's a lot
nervous.
of people that said the last time when they were down there that the atmosphere was really good and the people of around Nashville treated them really well, and there was a lot to do.
Yeah, it was just
and
2 years
a
ago.
lot
Yeah.
to see down there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time, and we were looking forward to going back. And by golly, it was maybe a little faster than we were anticipating. But Nashville's a great city.
Awesome. Well, look, you guys have a great day. It was
All right.
kind of a rough weekend for our basketball teams. but-
Twas.
Hey, I got to share something with you real quick. This was really cool. Yesterday, I stopped in Sykeston at that Lambert's, the place with the throwed rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a young woman that was in there. She couldn't have been much more than 18 or 19. She saw that I had a Hawkeye hat on, and she worked there, made a beeline over to me. She told me more about the Hawkeye program than I knew. She was naming names, talking. I'm like, man. And then she said, man, I hope someday Caitlin Clark comes walking in the door to have dinner with us. And I'm like, that would be cool for you. But it's so fun when you go places.
Yeah. Yep.
And people know the Hawkeye logo, and they want to talk to you about, and I had pictures on my phone of a couple of games that I went to where I took some pictures of Caitlin and, and that kind of thing. But it was so cool to see somebody that could actually, she just talked up Iowa basketball like no other. And I thought that was really cool.
Why did
Says
she
a lot
know?
about our program and our coaches.
Why did she know so
the
much about
atmosphere.
it? Why did she know so much about it?
Because she was a huge Caitlin Clark fan, and she
okay.
started to study the Hawkeyes. And she said that she played basketball, but she was only like 5 foot, and she
Wow.
gave it up and went into. She said she went into track and field instead. So, but man, she had knowledge, Mr. Suter. She knew everything. She knew the starting lineup. I was showing her pictures,
Wow.
and she was pointing at the women on my phone, going, "Oh yeah, that's her." That's her. I'm like, man, you're good. So anyway,
That's
I
fun.
just thought that was really cool.
Well, that's fun for you, and it was fun for her too. I'll bet.
Yeah, it was. Well, anyway, you guys have a great day, and as always, go Hawks.
All right, go Hawks.
Thanks for your call.
He's down in Memphis.
So, are you? Have you booked hotel yet?
Yes.
Or, okay, so you took care of that right away.
We are, yes.
That's awesome.
Actually, we booked the hotel about 2 weeks ago, just in case we were going to go.
What's your travel plans? Are you going to get down there like Saturday or Sunday?
Go down on the 28th, I think it is. Drive on the 28th, stay the 29th and 30th, and come back on the 31st.
Okay, so you're going down on Friday, Saturday, Sunday there, and then the game and out. Or
Yes.
Saturday, whatever. What's the
And coming back on
so that
New
driving.
Year's Eve.
Okay, sounds really good.
Yeah.
And
So
you'll
not too long.
be back for the big KCJJ New Year's Eve extravaganza. That'd be great.
Extravaganza. I don't know if we'll be back in time, but yeah, it's we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be.
And then we'll probably stay home for the rest of the winter,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. Not everybody gets a chance to do what you do.
No,
so
that's
I'm
right.
sure you should be. I'm sure you're grateful. that-
We very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So did you watch any NFL yesterday? Boy, Fox, they had the Bills and the Rams. Of course, because we were Bear country, we had to watch that Bear game. They only got 4 yards of offense in the first half, the Bears did, with their new coach. I mean, he's a staff member, but wasn't good.
4 yards in the first half.
4 yards of offense, negative passing. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. George Kittle had a great game for the Niners, and Brock Purdy was back, so it was good game for the Niners at least.
Yeah.
But I watched both the men's and the women's games on Saturday. I was, as everybody else was, I was hoping for a miracle shot at the end, like we saw earlier in the week, but just didn't.
Can you imagine starting the Big Ten season with 2 buzzer beaters?
They had a chance.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they did come back twice. I mean, that's shows some perseverance, and
I think probably the best thing to do is not fall behind by 16 points.
that's
but
probably a good strategy.
Unfortunately, that's basketball, man. It's a game of runs and streaks, and we were able to get back into the game, and hats off to the Hawks for that, but couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, I thought the men played better than the women.
Oh, I agree.
Absolutely.
Oh, a lot better.
Yeah, the women. I'm still not convinced they have the answer at point guard right now. They sure didn't in the Tennessee game.
Well, there's 30 turnovers to go around. Sid had 7
Yeah,
of
but
them.
a point guard stabilizes all that.
Well,
if you have a true point guard, and like I said, I'm
that's
not
true.
knocking Lucy.
No.
Lucy's a scoring guard, and I think to have her just to play point guard, no, they got to get the point guard situation. Malia Guyton was not ready for that game.
No.
I mean, when they brought her in there, didn't she dribble it off her foot the one time? And
Yeah.
I don't think she played after that, did she?
Maybe a little bit, but she didn't play that much.
And they got to get Sid a falter scoring. I mean,
Yeah, Sid didn't play very well
She played
at all.
35 minutes and took 2 shots.
At 2 points and 7 turnovers for Sid, that's not acceptable.
That's not a typical game for her.
No, and
Well, it
that's-
is this. I mean, this year she's not scoring.
No, she isn't.
She's not committing 7 turnovers, but they knew they were going to commit some turnovers, but they just, because I still say that's not a very good Tennessee team. I just don't think I don't think they're very good. They're just not very skilled. They can't shoot.
I think that's accurate. They're not skilled, and they can't.
I mean, most of those threes that they shot, the moment they left their, I'm like, that's not going in.
No.
You could just tell it wasn't going in.
Yeah, you could.
Some of them weren't even close. They missed so many shots, and yet Iowa just could not protect the. This was a game where quickness and athleticism just destroyed Iowa.
They sure did.
And that's happened before in the past.
It has, and it will again. But
I mean, there were times when Caitlin struggled against quickness and athleticism.
yeah,
What was it? Was it the game? Was it a game at where was it at Maryland, or was it Ohio State?
Ohio
That
State
really got into her,
yes.
and they beat them, and
Yes.
she struggled.
Yeah,
And but even the thing with Caitlin, though, even when she struggled, she could still get you 25 or 30.
yeah.
But they just don't have. They just don't have
And
that.
even if Caitlin had a half dozen turnovers, she'd
She'd do other things to make
so
up
many
for it.
assists
Yeah.
and stuff. Yep.
So, but no, that was an interesting game.
Yeah, it was. Just unfortunately,
But I hate it when they mic the coaches, then they say something
Yeah.
and people use that against them. You know why? I don't think there's a problem with Jan saying, "Hey, we're better than them" during a timeout.
Yeah.
There was
have
people
a problem with it either.
That's
some of the
instilling confidence.
some of the remarks on social media, of course, were trying to make it racist. You know,
come
and it's just so
on.
stupid. You know, I mean, especially when one of Iowa's best players is black.
Yeah, come on.
But no, that was some of the stuff because she was saying, "Well, we're better, but all they are is quick and well, they are quick and athletic." I mean,
They
acknowledge it. To acknowledge it's, I mean, they are quick and athletic,
And she said they may jump
and they do jump higher,
and run faster.
And they do.
Yes, they do.
But I still say they weren't as skilled. But Iowa played right into their hands.
Well, the most skilled team does not always win, and the most athletic team does not always
No,
win.
but Iowa played right into their hands.
Yep.
They just did not handle
Yep.
the press very well.
Well, they didn't.
So they're both playing Iowa State this week. And
Yep.
then they've got a kind of a BTN doubleheader on Sunday at 11 o'clock. The women are at Michigan State. And then at 1 o'clock, the men host New Orleans.
Then they got I think they have New Hampshire.
Hampshire.
New Orleans and New Hampshire are their last two. What do you want to call them?
Non-conference.
Gimmies.
Yeah.
So that would give them what? That would give them 9 wins. But the men both teams need to win.
Yeah,
You don't
they
want to
do.
lose this game this week.
No.
I mean, obviously there's way more opportunities after this, but it's going to be tough. I mean, I actually think the men may have a tougher challenge than the women.
I do too.
I mean, Iowa State women have not played that well yet this year. Maybe they'll start doing it. I haven't looked into. I mean, Jan's actually having a press conference here in 20 minutes. But no, would I be surprised if Iowa State came in and won both these games? No, not at all. That's how even
nor
these
would
teams
I.
are. No, but I do give Iowa a slight edge in the women's game for sure, being at home. But like I said, to me, it's almost a push, both of them.
Well, we got to play better. Both teams need to play better than
The Addie-Audie matchup's going to be interesting.
Addie-Audie?
Yeah.
Addie O'Grady versus Audie Crooks.
It will be interesting.
That's going to be interesting to see. And it's going to be interesting to see if people saw what Tennessee did. Hey, we need to press this Iowa team a little bit more. That could be some of the response to that.
Well, it could
Iowa
be,
did not
because we
handle
did
it
not
very
handle it well.
I mean, it's not fair for Lucy to have to be the one breaking the press and then have to be the one scoring and distributing. I mean, she needs help.
She does.
I mean, Caitlin, as great as she was, she always had Kate. She always at least had, she had Monica. And Caitlin always had a dependable second option, sometimes a good third option. Lucy needs that. And Hannah
She
Stolke,
does.
what was Stolke, 1 of 8 from the field?
She was.
Yeah,
She
Made all 6 of her free throws and had 8 rebounds, but she needs more than one basket.
and she did well getting the ball to Addie.
I mean, Folter and Stolke each had 1 basket.
Yeah. Well, and that's
You're not going to win.
Those are experienced.
Yeah, and that's
Two
a big
of our
reason
more
why,
experienced players.
that's a big reason why they lost. I don't think it had anything to do with coaching or anything. I mean, they knew the press was coming, and there's only so much a coach can do. Iowa just didn't execute.
No, well, they didn't.
I still thought throughout most of the game they were going to win.
I did
But
too.
then when they got
I
down
did
by
too.
like 6 or 8, and I finally, no, they are not. They are not going to figure this press out. They're going
No.
to keep turning the ball over because they did.
Yeah, and credit to Tennessee. They stuck to their game plan, and even
They
though they
did.
weren't making any shots, they got her done.
They got her done, and and their game plan is press, sub, take bad shots, press, sub, take bad. It's almost like they treat threes like you throw enough up against the wall, some are going to stick.
And so enough of them did, I guess.
Yeah, and then they do substitute in just groups of 4 and 5. It was a weird way to go about doing it. It'll be interesting to see how she recruits there, because some players wouldn't want to be in that style.
No, it'll be interesting to see how they do in conference and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm still not convinced they're very good.
No, what are they? They're 8-0 though, right?
I think they're I think they're 7-0. They were 6-0. Yeah, they were so they're 7-0, and they got
Iowa was
Iowa,
undefeated
and
too.
they had one other good win, but like I said, we'll see. I'm going to see what they do against the South Carolinas and all the other teams in the SEC, because I think that bad of a shooting team eventually that's going to catch up to you, and I think there's going to be more. As good as Iowa's been, Iowa's never been an athletic team.
No.
And there's athletic teams in the SEC that will handle that pressure better. Even when Caitlin was playing at Iowa, they were not people. Oh man, they're athleticism. No, they beat you with skill and how cohesive they were, and had great shooters. Caitlin wasn't overly athletic. She was tall. Well, it depends on what skills. I mean, eye-hand coordination and stuff. She wasn't a great jumper. She didn't blow you away with her lateral quickness.
No.
And what have you. And I think that's part of what Iowa struggled with. They just weren't quick enough to get past these defenders that were all over them.
Yep.
And despite that, they being outplayed like that, they were still tied at half.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they were able to.
Well, and I think that gives some credence to what Pat's saying.
Yeah.
Tennessee ain't all that.
Well,
Right.
Tennessee's shooting in the first half was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I think they missed their first 11 threes, and they just kept shooting them. I think, weren't they 0 for 11 and for 3 in
I
the
think
first
they were.
quarter?
Yeah.
And they were just bad shots. And you did hear the head coach say, hey, in the timeout, we got our style, you can shoot. But she said, girls, this is open gym. She goes, you're taking these rush shots.
yeah.
You're not going to the basket. She goes, I like our style. You can shoot, but we got a style. We have a purpose in what we do. That seemed to, I think that
It
lit
seemed
a
to make
spark.
a difference.
That
Yeah.
lit a spark, because she says, this is not open gym. She was basically reminding them, I give you a lot of freedom with the way you play, but there is a limit to what I will allow and what you're doing. And it did seem to make them a little better, but Iowa just continued to turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Lucy had to work so hard for everything.
She sure did, and she didn't get enough help from her
From Sid and Hannah.
Yeah.
And Kylie wasn't.
No, but I'm to the
superstar
point
either.
now where Kylie's not going to be a reliable scorer. She does a lot of other stuff.
She does.
But they got to get a Falter going, because at the end of last year, she was playing all Big Ten level basketball.
She was.
She's not now. And they got to get something from Taylor McCabe.
She is a non-entity, isn't she?
I mean, I would have thought that her ability to make threes would give her a role in each game, but
she doesn't get any shots.
She doesn't get any shots, and it doesn't seem like if she's not shooting a three, there's not much else she's doing.
She's not engaged.
But we also don't want to overreact to one loss, too.
No.
But they're far from being a perfect team. They got a lot of work to do, and we'll see if Iowa State. Now, if Iowa State comes in here and wins by 10 to 15 points, then yeah, they got
we
problems.
got some issues. Yep.
But I'm not convinced that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a very competitive game, and it's going to be a fun game to watch.
And freshman didn't contribute too much. Maybe
no. Ava Hyden got in there and
well.
made two good baskets, and she did those in the framework of the offense.
She did.
It's not like she did anything great individually, but she caught the ball and put it in. That's when the offense was rolling.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have enough of that.
No.
Yeah, that game, Taylor Strimlow, I'm not sure if she was ready for that game.
She wasn't.
Not with that quickness, and those girls were quick and long and athletic and determined.
Yeah.
I think those Tennessee players, a lot of them, hey, we're not the best shooters, so we're gonna just out hustle you and just outwork you.
And they did.
And they did. I mean, I'm not saying Iowa played lazy or anything, but
No.
Tennessee, when you press like that, you're working harder than your opponent usually.
Oh yeah. Well, and didn't they say they were running players in like
like a hockey lineup.
Yeah.
She substituted her first five with another five, and that and I think fatigue was a problem. But no, Iowa just got hit by a buzzsaw. I mean, it was
more power to them. But
yeah.
they did what they executed their game plan better than we did ours.
And these are the kind of games you get when you become a national program, which Iowa is right now.
That's right.
So,
well, why don't we take a break, and we'll be back with some more nonsense and some more Hawk stuff.
All right, sounds good.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
It's that wonderful holiday time of the year. Moments of eating too much, spending time with family, or in some cases, maybe trying to avoid family. However you choose to celebrate, the Diamond Dental team of Dr. Forbes, Kate, Michelle, Michaela, and Kim would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday. Here's hoping you enjoy every moment of this joyous time of the year. Rest assured, Diamond Dental is here, providing superior care for your entire family during the holiday season and all year long.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Hi, this is Bill Leixenring from the Oxyoke Inn. The Oxyoke Inn is now serving daily. Our Oxyoke family is ready to serve you with the same quality of food and service you've come to trust since 1940. Now serving lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily with 4 portion sizes. Sundays featuring our famous brunch buffet. You can also order curbside carryout and pies to go online and take the comforting taste of the Oxyoke home to your family's table. Visit oxyokeinn.com for hours, menus, reservations, carryout, specials, and gift cards. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon. Oxyoke Inn, in the heart of Amana.
Hi, this is Jill Sterner with Sterner Taxidermy in Lone Tree. It's hunting season again, and I'm inviting all of you hunters to follow us on our Facebook page. You can view Dirk's award-winning artistry, his workmanship that he completes with each individual piece. We can be reached at 319-330-1774. Again, 319-330-1774.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
The winter season is upon us, and we all know how busy that can be. Coupled with the added difficulty of dangerous weather from snow, ice, and freezing rain. Wallen Repair and Collision Center in Fairfax asks that you be mindful of road conditions and other drivers. If an accident were to happen, Wallen Collision is your one-stop shop for all your collision needs. Plus, they work with all insurance carriers. Online at wallenrepair.com or call them at 846-3434. That's 846-3434. Quality, honesty, and integrity is the proud reputation built around Wallen Repair and Collision Center, who reminds you how hazardous winter driving can be and to never stop watching for deer. Again, that's online at wallenrepair.com or call them at 846-3434. That's 846-3434.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Table to Table Food Rescue works with area grocery stores, restaurants, and food wholesalers to keep wholesome food from going to waste. And we distribute that food to social service agencies who serve the hungry. Help us help our friends and neighbors in need by volunteering your time or making a monetary donation. Call Table to Table at 319-337-3400. That's 319-337-3400. Table to Table Food Rescue. It's the right thing to do.
Lobs to Owen Freeman. He dunks it through.
Catch all Big Ten selection. Owen Freeman and the Hawkeye men's basketball team in action. Single game tickets for the 2024-25 season are on sale. This season's home schedule features Purdue, Michigan State, and conference newcomer Washington. Plan your trip to Carver by calling 1-800-IA-HAWK.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
It is going to be another fairly mild day here today, but we're going to go back to reality here fairly quickly this week. Today, sunshine, 50 our high around midday to early afternoon. The wind will be out of the west at 15 to 25. Tonight down to 24. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 33 for a high. Some light snow tomorrow night into Wednesday. Then Wednesday, partly cloudy and windy with a high of only 23. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Current temp now 37.
We're back with Hawkfanatic, which is only 2 episodes this week because Friday we have our Santa store, KCJJ auction.
We do.
You going to wear your Santa cap for that one?
If I remember, yes.
This is about the time of season when you pull it out and wear it pretty much everywhere.
It is, if I remember. And I haven't run across it yet. We haven't done all of our Christmas decorating yet, although we did put up our real Christmas tree the other day and put the lights on them yesterday. We still have to do the rest of the decorating, but
yeah, I need to get one like yours, a stocking cap, because the hats that I get are always too small. I even got the biggest one I could find, and it still doesn't fit.
Well, you do have a good-sized hat.
I have a big noggin, yes, that's for sure.
Yes.
So we are back with Hawkfanatic, and again, the auction is Friday morning at 6.
It is, and we need to be done by 10:30 today. Mr. Harty has got to hightail it out of here.
Oh, okay. That should be no problem.
See, either Molly will be here, or you can
I'll just fill in
spin some discs.
I'll just fill in until Molly shows up. That's how we normally do it.
Yep.
Then I've got the day off tomorrow. And
Yes, you do.
And then Steve is going again on Wednesday. I think Tommy might be sitting in for the Hawkfanatic at that.
On Wednesday? Tommy will be good?
Yeah.
We will do this show with whoever is in the captain's seat.
That's
there.
right. Just keep your scorecards handy so he can update you as it happens. Yeah, pretty nice day today. It's supposed to get really cold later in the week and then warm up by the weekend again. So,
But, hey.
It's late fall in Midwest.
Yeah, this is not... we have been very fortunate so far, very lucky with the fall weather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Except for the football game, the Nebraska game.
Yeah, that sucked.
God, that was brutal.
Do you still think about that every once in a while, how cold you were?
Yes, and also said to Ann, I said, if it were like this every game, we would not go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just as simple as that, we wouldn't go.
My brother went to Northern Illinois University, and we went to a Friday night football game.
Is that DeKalb?
In like November, and it's like a wind tunnel up there in that
Is
area of Illinois, and it just froze. It was fun and everything, but yeah, that's not fun when you're sitting there braving the elements for 2 or 3 hours watching something. You're not participating, so you're not working up any energy.
So Pat was sitting in the comfort, the warmth
of the press
and the
box.
protection of the press box. So did you give any thought to the poor sods in the stands?
I did not.
No.
Because nobody forced you to be there.
This is true.
There you go.
You made that choice. And,
We did.
I was impressed by the crowd. I mean,
I was too.
And
the
they
stadium
stayed.
was full.
And yeah, the fact that they stayed as long as they did.
Yeah, because it was cold and the game was boring. Other than Caleb's run, I mean, the game was pretty boring.
Well, the first half, I agree. The second, even the third quarter was
boring.
Yeah, it was.
There was nothing going on. And Caleb's run that was his last act as a Hawkeye.
It energized the stadium and the team, I think.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, without question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave him, along with the extra point, it gave him 7 very crucial points on a day when they were having trouble scoring.
So what do we have? Is the bowl? We have 12 Big Ten teams in the bowls. Did I count those right?
I haven't counted.
12 out of 18. That's
not bad.
Well, when you only need to win 6 games, it's pretty easy.
That's true.
To get to a bowl.
Especially when three of them for some teams are gimmies. The directional.
Now all this Alabama fans are outraged, and somebody was going to be pissed. And you see all these narratives why Alabama should be in, why they shouldn't be in. It's all over Twitter. But
they lost to 2 6-6 teams
and won by one. I mean, Oklahoma beat them, I think, 26-3.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's not any good.
No. So yeah, I mean, I have no problem with Alabama not being in. I'm kind of glad to see SMU in.
Me too.
And I don't care who wins it. I don't really have a gut feeling. For some reason, I don't think Oregon's going to win it. I don't know why. I'm picking the field.
That's fair enough.
Penn State got a fortunate draw compared to Ohio State.
They sure did.
You see Ohio State's draw?
I did.
I mean, they're playing Tennessee. They're hosting Tennessee. Then I think they would have to play Oregon. I mean, it's brutal.
That is tough.
Is Notre Dame playing Indiana?
Yes, Indiana at Notre Dame.
I can't wait to watch that game. That guy's going to say bad. He's Catholic, I'm sure, but don't you think he'll still rip bunch of Catholic pussies? That's what he'll say, don't you think? Yeah, touchdown Jesus, my ass. He'll do stuff like that.
I think that's one of the more interesting matchups.
I do too, but don't you think he'll insult Notre Dame going in?
I don't.
Touchdown Jesus. He'll say touchdown Jesus is overrated. And the Four Horsemen were losers, stuff like that. I expect him to fully say that as a Notre Dame fan. If you heard him saying the Four Horsemen were overrated losers, Tom, would you laugh?
Yes. Yes, I would.
That is going to be a good game because Notre Dame's better than I thought.
And when is that game?
That is the Friday, December 20th.
That's this Friday. No,
No, it's
a week
not.
from Friday.
Week
I'm
Week
sorry.
from Friday.
Ahead of myself.
So, and that's the first
Think about
playoff game.
how cold it's going to be.
Yeah.
South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah.
Northern Indiana in late December. I mean,
That ain't going to be good.
No, that's going to be cold.
But that I think that's one of the most intriguing
I think that's the most
matchups.
intriguing first-round matchup. What are the other ones?
SMU at Penn State, not particularly intriguing.
Well, we'll see. Penn State better be careful because SMU's got some good athletes. As long as they don't all opt out, which I don't think anyone will. Their quarterback, Kevin Jennings, I believe,
He's good.
He's good.
He is. Penn State will be be 105,000 in white there.
Yeah.
Clemson at Texas, that does nothing for me.
The interesting thing about that is Clemson's 5-star quarterback is from Austin, Texas. So that'll definitely be
that is interesting.
What's his name? Cade Klubnik or whatever. But yeah, I would imagine Texas is going to win that game.
I
would pick Texas. I mean, Clemson's 10-3, but they're not a great team.
No, they're not.
And their coach is weird.
Dabo.
Yeah.
And Tennessee at Ohio State.
That could be a good game.
That could be a real good game.
And I've been reading, and people are saying on TV, if Day doesn't win at all, they're going to fire him.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, when you lose 4 in a row to Michigan, he should not have lost to Michigan this year.
No, he shouldn't have.
That was not. The other 3 years, I think Michigan was better.
Yes.
This year, Michigan was not better than them, and they still lost. So, I mean, but I just think that's too many big teams they have to beat. I don't think Ohio State can do it because, quite frankly, I don't think their quarterback, Will Howard, I think he's been good. Don't get me wrong, but he's just not that dynamic Justin Fields type.
No.
Terrell Pryor quarterback that Ohio State has that sometimes when a play breaks down, or Braxton Miller that can just do something on his own that's spectacular.
And their running backs, as good as they are, they
have
haven't.
Because the offensive line's been beat up at times,
Yeah.
but I think the O-line is underachieved.
I think
because those
absolutely.
running backs, you give them a hole, they are good.
Yep,
The
they are.
Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, they are really good. They just haven't had a lot of running lanes.
No, they haven't. Then skip ahead to the day after Christmas. Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Rutgers versus Kansas State in Phoenix.
Yeah, at least they're in warm weather.
Yeah?
I would watch a little
That'll
of
be
that
a
game if
decent
nothing
game.
else was on. I would watch some of that. Kansas State's got a few Iowa connections. Brendan Mott's defensive end down there. He's been playing there, it seems, for years. I believe he's a senior there. Joe Mott's son. He's went down to K-State and has done a hell of a job. He's had a good career.
So nothing else is on unless the Hawkeyes have a game or something, basketball that day. But I don't know
I
what
don't
they
have the
do.
schedule in front of me. I'm not sure.
Well,
I don't think they
I
have.
do.
I mean, both teams. There's not a lot going on. I mean, between Christmas and finals, that there's a little bit of a gap in
there
the
is
schedules.
Yeah, there's no conflict there.
Like the women, I believe I saw the women don't have a lot of games this month.
No?
Because they're not going to do much during finals is next week.
Okay, and this is kind of an interesting game. The next day on the 27th, the Las Vegas Bowl, USC and Texas A&M.
That
kind of interesting.
It just depends on who's still available.
Yeah.
You don't know what the opt-outs are going to be. No, that could be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. The Pinstripe Bowl, Saturday, December 28th. Couldn't happen to a better team.
Yeah, I have no interest in Nebraska and Boston. That's Bill O'Brien, the Boston College coach. And so, yeah, I'm not interested.
That's a snooze fest. Then, of course, the Pop-Tarts Bowl is that same day, Saturday the 28th.
If everybody plays, that could be a great game.
Miami,
I have not read if Cam Ward's opting out. I don't know. He may have. It's so hard to say, but I didn't realize the Pop-Tart Bowl was that high of a bowl because to get two teams that had a chance to be in the playoffs, that means they had a little bit. I had no idea that the Pop-Tart Bowl was that powerful. Ranked that high.
I'm
You
with
like
you.
Pop-Tarts?
They're okay.
I don't mind them.
I haven't had one in years since the girls were kids.
The ones that I really like are the unfrosted ones, and they're super hard to find now.
I like the ones with chocolate on the inside and chocolate on the outside. Those are my Pop-Tarts.
I'm a cherry guy.
I don't mind
cherry
cherry.
Pop-Tart with butter on top.
Ooh.
I don't mind cherry, but if I'm going to do that, I get those Pillsbury cherry strudel things where you get the
Oh, my God, those were so good.
And you get the frosting, and you can pour the frosting. Those things are really good.
I forgot about those.
They were actually on sale the other day for like. Problem is, I get something like that, I end up eating them all in like a day, and it's just like.
Yeah, that's a
so
problem.
I try to keep that stuff away.
All right, of course, December 30th, the only bowl game that day is Missouri versus Iowa.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, it does.
And it starts at what time? Is it
1:30? 1:30.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so we'll see.
So hopefully
I got to
that'll
reach
be a
out to
good
my
game.
stringer today to see if he's interested and go from there.
Well, if he's not, maybe Tom
Have
and
you and
Ann
Ann
can write you a story.
And you guys do a podcast. Just ripping the officials afterwards if Iowa loses. Demanding that Ferentz step down. I'm like, God, did you hear what Suter, Ann, and Tom said on their pod?
Wow.
Hawkfanatic. Wow, you guys are
They
overboard.
have just lost it.
And you guys are demanding just full accountability.
All right.
I don't have a feeling either way about the bowl game.
No.
I mean, no, I don't have. I mean, Missouri's 9-3, so they're a decent team. But like we said, who knows who they're going to have available by the time kickoff starts?
Who knows? We'll see. You know.
And Iowa, as far as there could be more. I mean, a lot of the guys entering the portal now are walk-ons.
Yeah.
There was a couple, and I feel bad. A couple I didn't even realize they were even on the team. But the walk-ons, they have to because the roster reduction. It's coming. There's not going to be room for them. And it's too bad. You miss having those 20 to 25 walk-ons on the team, and they come in handy in a lot of ways.
And they've been some great success stories over the years.
Those success stories are going to end.
So Alabama, Michigan the next day on New Year's Eve at 11 o'clock our time. I think we will be hurtling up the interstate heading home on that day, so probably won't get to see a lot of those games. So Alabama, Michigan.
So you're going to spend New Year's Eve in Iowa City?
Driving back to Iowa City.
Back?
And then by the time, we'll get back.
You'll be back before midnight, though, won't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess the factor is weather. You never, this time of year traveling, you never know what the weather's going to be like.
No, that's true. And I'm not, if it's going to be icy, I won't be.
Oh, God, I would stay down there.
Yeah.
Oh, you going to take Wapsie with you?
No.
You think she'd like the trip like that? Although, what would you do with her during the game?
No, Wapsie wants to stay home. And she wants us to be home.
My dogs wanted to stay home, but they didn't care if I was there or not. They seriously didn't.
That's funny. All right, and then the Citrus Bowl, interesting matchup, Scar and Illinois.
Who?
South Carolina.
Oh, Scar. I was like, what the hell is Scar? Okay, now I get you. Again, who's going to be available?
Probably.
Who opts out? I mean, like that. I haven't like that Pat Bryant, their star receiver. Will he play in that game? You think?
I don't know.
Because
We'll
I
see.
figure he goes high in the draft. Luke Altmaier, I would assume Altmaier will. I mean, Illinois got a chance to win 10 games for I think like the 8th time in program history.
Yeah.
This has been a nice year for Brett.
It has. It has. There probably would be a good game, Iowa and Illinois this year.
It probably would have been. I mean, didn't Brett beat Iowa 9-6?
That was one of the worst.
I mean, I could see Iowa beating. I'm Caleb, but Illinois was probably a little better than Iowa this year all around, and I think a lot of it started with quarterback play.
Yeah.
And much
I would
better.
say so.
And much better wide receivers.
Well, and much better quarterback.
Oh,
as you
much.
said.
I mean, Luke
Much
Altmaier
better.
was really good this year.
Yeah, he was. So vault ahead to January 1st, Oregon against somebody.
Well, the winner of
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it the winner of Ohio State,
Yes.
SMU?
Yes, it is.
They played this year already in Oregon. Oregon won by like a point. I mean, Ohio State is good enough to win this whole thing.
Yes,
I just
they
don't
are.
know. But would it be 3 or 4 games they'd have to win? Is it 4? Is it 3?
3.
3. Okay.
They have to win, or is it just 2?
No, it's definitely got to be.
Oh,
more.
no, it's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah.
So, man, think about that. So, yeah, they're going to end up playing 15 games if you get to the some of these teams will have ended up playing 16 games.
Wow.
It's a lot of games.
It is.
It is.
It's almost an NFL regular season. But they're getting paid now, too, so like it's a business now. I don't even look at them as amateurs really anymore.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Okay, and then the last Big Ten game that is not part of the playoffs, the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
That's the thing. You know,
Yikes.
people are they obsess over Duke's mayonnaise. I don't know. I don't get it. I've tried it once. It's not an.
It's mayonnaise.
It's mayonnaise.
And I don't love mayonnaise. I can eat it, but I don't love it. And that's Minnesota versus Virginia Tech. And that's Friday, January 3rd from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, we'll not probably be watching that.
Well, let's see. Friday, the 3rd, Iowa men are at Wisconsin. And the women do not play. So we'll see.
The Iowa men at Wisconsin's going to be tough.
Yeah,
in
sure
Wisconsin,
is.
they got that John Tanji who
He's playing. He's
playing
incredible.
well. So yeah, that's going to be winning on the road is going to be tough. No, that's not hardly a news flash or anything. But
Yeah,
like you
it's
said, they
it
gave
is.
it a good run at Michigan. I'm still not convinced Michigan's a great team. I know they're
No.
ranked right now, but I still think Michigan's going to end up with 6, 7, 8 conference losses.
I mean, do you think there's any great teams in the Big Ten this year?
No, but I think Penn State's really good. I think Purdue's going to win most of their home games, but they already got beat by Penn State convincingly in Pennsylvania. Maryland's good. Maryland almost beat Purdue at home
They're
yesterday.
good, yeah.
I think, and then of course, I think Michigan State's got a chance to be decent, but no, none of these are elite teams. But I think Penn State's the team that really intrigues me. They are athletic, old, experienced, and their coach is good. Mike Rhodes, he's a good coach. I really like Penn State if they stay healthy.
I actually watched a bit of the Michigan State and who was it, Rutgers?
I didn't see any of it.
Yeah, Michigan State won, but it wasn't.
Rutgers has been disappointing. They lost to Ohio. I think. Are you sure it wasn't Michigan State, Nebraska?
It was Michigan
Yeah,
State.
I watched some of
Nebraska.
that.
Yeah.
Michigan State was up by almost 40 points at one point.
Yeah.
Nebraska doesn't look good at all.
They look terrible.
And they got weird-looking players, guys with beards and mullets. And just,
no, they look terrible. They look so bad, I even forgot who Michigan State played.
Yeah, Fred does not look like he has reloaded this year
No.
after what they lost last year. And but no, I like Penn State. From what I've seen so far, I really like Penn State. I think they are a serious team. So we'll see. But no, I don't think there's I don't know if there's a great team. Kansas has already lost to it.
Twice.
Missouri pounded them. I don't think there's a great team in the country.
I think you're
Which is good,
right.
if you're into parity, this is what you like.
Yeah. Well, on the women's side of thing, there's no clear. I mean, South Carolina, of course, is awfully good, but they've lost already.
Yeah, and USC and UCLA are good, but no, I don't think
And
there's
they've lost.
there's no Connecticut team from 2016.
No.
There's nothing like that. Or Tennessee under Pat Summitt. There's nothing like that right now, which is good for the game, I think.
Yep. Now you look pensive, Mr. Hunter.
I'm just seeing our comments about going to this bowl, and people are kind of collectively meh, but like you said,
That's what Pat was saying. Yeah.
Well, there'll still be people like Tom that'll
Oh,
go
yeah.
there and have fun. I mean,
and it's not like they're not going to watch the game because it's the second time in 3 years we've been there. They're still going to watch.
but this just is not what Iowa fans had in mind for how they wanted this season to end, the Music City Bowl with 4 losses. That was just not.
Well, no.
This has been sort of a disappointing season.
Absolutely.
And you can say that without being a hater. I mean, they didn't. This team, I had this team going 10-2. Was thinking maybe 9-3. I didn't think they'd lose, and they lost 2 games they shouldn't have lost to. They shouldn't have lost at Michigan State. It was a bad loss.
It was.
There's really no excuse for it, and that's why they're in the Music City Bowl.
That's right.
And that's why some people apparently are saying, "Meh, I'm not going to go."
Well, then you don't have to.
And I think some people look at it as just a game, where you look at it as like a mini vacation. Hey,
Absolutely.
another reason to go to Nashville. And some people will look at it that way, and others will just say, "I get to spend the money."
Nashville's a great city.
You think you can do the whole trip for less than $1,000?
That's probably pretty close. Yeah.
Between how many? 2 nights in a hotel? 3?
3.
You'll probably spend a couple $100 on gas. Maybe not quite.
No, because
Not
I
quite.
have a hybrid.
Oh, you have a hybrid. So what? $50 on fuel?
Maybe. Yeah.
And then a couple $100 on food and a couple thousand on alcohol.
A couple thousand on alcohol in the stadium.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, no, this is a trip that you could easily do for less than $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, And if we had gone to Tampa, it would have been a lot more expensive.
Oh, God, I'm sure.
I mean, just a
Just
lot
your plane
more
tickets would have
expensive.
been. I mean, especially that time of year, unless you got them early and were lucky and guessed right, because by the time you would have been in a position to get tickets for Tampa, they would have raised those prices significantly.
Absolutely.
I remember I waited 15 minutes for what was it that we were going? The last thing I flew to, I can't remember, but it ended up costing me like $300. I can't remember what it was. A couple years ago, my brother-in-law, I didn't get back to him quick enough, and by the time I went to do it, it had gone up. And then that happened to me with a hotel in Minneapolis just this year for Iowa football. I saw the room, and it was $99, and I'm like, oh, wait, let me check. $100 for it. It was a nice. Yeah. And by the time I got back to it in like 10 minutes, it was $229. It had gone up.
Oh, no, it's
Because
ridiculous.
we had passed a certain time as you're inning into a football weekend. It was was all because it had gone up to $229.
Yeah.
Just because I was not, and I called them, and they're like, well, you missed the cutoff. And I'm like, well, why do you raise it? And they're like, well, it's football weekend.
Because we can.
Because we can, and that's what they do.
And they do.
Yeah. Well, they do it here.
Oh, sure they do.
Like, what's the average cost of a hotel on a Friday night, football night in Iowa City, would you say? $300?
At least. And you do, or $400, and you have to have multi-nights in a bunch of them.
A 2-night minimum.
Yeah. And hey, it's business. I get it.
Yeah.
It's a free market. I get how it works. They're not forcing you to get the rooms. Yeah. But I was stunned for a Minnesota, and this hotel was like 30 miles south of Minneapolis, so it was in the suburbs, sort of. But that shows how far, though, the reach goes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
silly.
wow, I could have got it for $9. It was like a Westin Inn. It was like a nice one, but I wasn't going to spend. I ended up getting like a Motel 6 for like $130, and they haven't stopped emailing me ever since. I still get emails from the Omni from the Rose Bowl in 2015. I get emails from that Omni Hotel where I stayed.
Yeah.
Once you stay there, it's like you never get off a list.
Oh, you get on an email list, man, and you have that forever, like luggage.
Yes. The other thing I found out is every once in a while I see something like a recipe or something. Like I'll click on that. Now I get just tons of recipes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the algorithm stuff is ridiculous.
When I drove to, not this year, but last year when I drove to Colorado, I left late on Sunday, so I stayed in Ogallala, Nebraska, at a privately owned hotel right off the interstate. $22.
Oh, wow.
It was concrete block and tile floors.
$22?
$22 on a Sunday night.
Was it nasty?
It was serviceable. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't like the lap of luxury or anything, but
no.
But the TV worked and the fridge worked and the shower worked. Everything was. That's all I cared about. I wasn't looking for like the Ritz or anything like that.
$22.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
I just got a text from somebody saying, I'm hearing rumblings that the Iowa High School girls and boys basketball state tournament could be moved to Drake.
Really? You mean to the Knapp Center?
Well, I assume that, but why?
Don't know.
As a Drake grad, I'm not. That seems weird. Why would you do that? Right now, it's at Wells Fargo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then they raise their rates or something.
I don't know, but that goes from an arena that holds almost 20 to an arena that holds like 7. Aren't there more than 7,000 fans for state tournament? Maybe there's not.
Maybe not.
Maybe there's not.
I mean, they have the turnover.
The Knapp Center is nice. It's a great arena.
It is.
I hadn't really thought about that.
Amy graduated in the Knapp Center.
I graduated in Vets Auditorium, 1986. Oh yeah, I'll never forget that big old red drape.
Yep.
If I remember that. Yeah. But yeah, that would be interesting if they did that at Drake. There's decent parking. There's enough parking, but I don't know. That seems weird.
Yes.
Unless, like Jim said, there's something business-wise that's forcing them to look elsewhere. Who knows?
When I graduated, it was outdoors in front of St. Ambrose under the oaks. That was a tradition.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. It was like 95 degrees, but it was pretty cool.
So now, did I see where you and I hired Drake's coach?
Mm-hmm.
Is this
Cespedes, I believe, was his last name?
Surprise?
I had no thoughts about it. I didn't follow what he did at Drake. He obviously must have did okay at Drake, or they wouldn't. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I talked to a couple of people who knew a little bit about. They said it looks like an okay hire, but I've had people ask like, why wouldn't like LeVar Woods or so? It'd be a pay cut.
Yeah.
I mean, if your position, LeVar, I think, is making over $500,000 a year now, and I think as you and I, you're going to maybe make somewhere between $250 and $500. Seth Wallace, he makes $1 million a year now. You're not going to make that.
Isn't that just incredible?
You're not going to make that at a school like you and I. So I guess you could go there for an opportunity to be the head coach and then use that if you're successful to cash in later. But you'd be if you're a lot of these position coaches at Power Fives would be turning down a lot of money to go for a job like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me wonder what you and I, what their field of candidates was.
Yeah, boy, it's quite the profession to be in now, isn't it?
Oh, and I was telling you, Haluska's going to start doing basketball, but I had scheduled him for Friday, not realizing we had an auction, so I'll have to reach out to him. Hopefully we can get him on sometime next week. But yeah, he said he's back. He'll come back, and we usually average about one a week with Adam once the Big Ten season gets going, once football's over. So yeah, I'll try to reschedule him for sometime next week.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Now, are you still? We still going to get student athletes into the second semester?
Yeah, I believe we will. I'm not bugging them right now about it because with finals,
right?
Just there's so much going on right now. I want to kind of wait. If they reach out to me and say, "Hey, we got one," so fine. But there's between the semester coming to an end and all the transition from fall to winter sports, I want to kind of give them some space right now, unless they reach out to me. I haven't been asking them. But yeah, next week is finals and what have you. But yeah, once we get into that second semester in January, we'll start picking it up again.
Because those have been fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed them.
Love every single.
And now a lot of the ones that we've done, those sports are over.
Yeah, that's true.
They're over, and I'd like to get some more stuff happening in the winter sports, so when we do get these, we have something more to talk about, as opposed to them looking at what they now. When we get them back in January, their seasons will be well underway, so we'll have a lot to go with.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Hey, this is Warren in Iowa City.
Hi, Warren.
Yeah, you were just talking a little bit about coach's salary. It made me think. I was a freshman in '79, so that was Hayden Fry's first year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I remember when he started as head coach at Iowa. Was he making $160,000?
44.
Does that sound right?
44.
That
44,500.
Really?
You got a big echo on here.
Yeah, turn down your radio.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Times have changed.
I think it was 44,000.
He's on his Bluetooth.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll hang out.
All right. Thank you.
What'd you think of that?
44,000.
I could be wrong, but I thought that's the figure. And back then, that was almost 50 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what.
And there was no television revenue. I thought it was 44,000. I guess we could.
That sounds about right. It does.
And back then, 44,000 was in the late 70s. 44,000 was a decent amount of money.
Good cash.
Oh yeah.
Hell, there's people that make less than that now.
Yeah.
But that just shows you though, television revenue hadn't really.
No. It hadn't really kicked in.
Now it's insane.
It is, but it's changed everything, and your college football purists are not going to like what they experience.
No.
And that's no turning back. The genie is out of the bottle and run to the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching Roddy Dale, he now plays at Michigan. He had spent 4 years at Ohio State. It's just so weird. No, remember when you couldn't transfer at all? Then you couldn't transfer in conference. If you transferred, you had to sit out. Now it's just whatever.
Well, I remember too when freshmen couldn't play.
I'm waiting for the day where somebody's on one team in the first half and they transfer at halftime and play for the other team in the second half. Think we'll ever get that point?
That's happened in Major League Baseball.
It has.
Traded somebody in the middle of a doubleheader, and they go suit up.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Did that happen this year, didn't it?
I think so.
I can't remember who it was, but...
God, then I saw the Mets.
Oh, $50 million.
They're not going to get their money's worth out of that.
No. You can't possibly get your money's worth out of that.
You wouldn't think so, would you?
He's a great player, but I don't think anybody's worth that money.
No,
Have the Cubs done anything this offseason?
Well, they
Let's hear the positive spin. I want to hear it.
They haven't blown up Wrigley Field yet.
But they haven't done anything player-wise?
They did sign a pitcher who's okay. But that's one thing that they're looking at. They got a pretty decent pitching staff. They just need a couple of thumpers on their team.
Well, that's easier said than done, especially when you don't want to pay money.
No, of course not. This team. These owners, the Ricketts, they spent the money to get the World Series, and after that, you're on your own, guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of and the Bears have the McCaskies who don't know what the hell they're doing. And Jerry Reinsdorf owns the Bulls and the White Sox, and that's a whole nother story. It's just sad Chicago sports right now.
It's terrible.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. It's John Ballmer.
Hi, John.
Calling weigh in on the Soto situation with the Yankees for a year.
Yeah.
I think the Yankees were in the sweepstakes, but the Mets owner wants to be the number one team in New York, overshadowing the Yankees. Good luck to that.
Good luck, buddy.
But I think they were right there in it, but it's absurd, that amount of money. There's no two ways about it. Their luxury tax has got to be off the charts now.
Yeah.
Because he has spent a lot of money with other signees in the last couple of years. So it's just, and I'm glad the Yankees didn't sign him, frankly, for that, because they need to invest in some pitching and things that are more of a need. I mean, he's a great ball player.
Sure he
There's
is.
no two ways about it. But where's this all going to end, for God's sake?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, because ultimately it's the fans have to pay for all this.
Well, you would think. I mean, good Lord. And then I guess they signed this Clay Holmes, who was a reliever for the Yankees last year, who frankly lost his closing job because he was choking all the time and giving up, blowing leads. So I don't mind losing him, but they signed him for only $38 million for 3 years, I think.
Hell, the Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla.
No.
Yeah,
Seriously?
he gets $500,000 a year until 2029.
Oh, for God's sake!
Because he
I
deferred
knew
his
it was long. I
salary.
didn't know it was that long. Jeez.
Nice work if you can get it, huh?
That makes me smile
we're
every
in the
July
wrong-
1st.
You were in the wrong profession, fellas.
Boy, ain't that the
I
truth?
wouldn't have made it anyway. So.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh, brother. Well, Pat, I'm glad you're feigning Irish. You're going to be playing Indiana. I think they'll probably wax the field with them, I think.
Yeah, I'm not as confident as you are. Who do you cheer for in that game, John?
Oh, I'm going to cheer for Indiana.
Okay.
Sure, I'm not going to cheer for the Irish.
All right.
You know me, Pat.
All right. But no, I'm a little worried about that. Do you think the Indiana
Really?
coach will insult Notre Dame going into the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Notre Dame would be tough to beat at home. And,
No, they're playing well.
Maybe this Indiana coach is the real deal. I've still got my doubts about him too. So.
Well, he was bitching about saying if we were Michigan or Ohio State, we'd be picked a lot higher, and he was complaining.
Oh, God.
So we'll see. Now, their problem is they had their chance against Ohio State and got creamed.
And they got
creamed.
thrashed.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
Sure.
So we'll see.
And
Yeah, you're right. Well, Ohio, like you said, Ohio State's got the tougher route to go here. For sure.
they do. Of course, that's what losing to Michigan will do for them.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, for sure. So, have you heard any more opt-outs for the Iowa-Missouri game as far as either side?
Not yet, but, I mean, it's fluid. I mean,
it'll probably change.
I mean, the ones that have opted out, Cade, and, I mean, the quarterbacks, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, James Reesar, I think he got, when they moved him to wide receiver, I think they were saying, hey, you're not going to be you're not a quarterback. And so I don't know if he's going somewhere else to play receiver or going somewhere else to try to switch back to quarterback. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah. Well, we better be looking for a quarterback, and maybe
Oh, they're looking. Don't get me wrong. They're looking hard. Now, I do think, though, that they believe that Brendan Sullivan will be their quarterback next year. If they can get something better, great. But I think they need to get some just because you need to have 3 or 4 on the roster.
God, yes. With injuries and everything.
Right now, they've got Stratton and Sullivan, and the Girardi kid, they got him as a D-back. He eventually will go back there. So, they need – and then they'll add Jimmy Sullivan. So, but, no, they need at least one more quarterback. Fitzgerald is a walk-on.
Oh, Fitzgerald's son, yeah.
He's a walk-on, so yeah. I
know nothing about him.
He's I mean, he's good enough to walk on at Iowa means he's a pretty good quarterback. Obviously not a phenom, or he would have scholarships.
Right, sure.
So we'll see.
Well, that's going to be interesting, gentlemen. I don't know which way I'm like you. That's a coin toss for Iowa, Missouri, that game. I don't know which way would go on that one, so. I'm just glad we're not playing Ole Miss. I think that would not be.
Well, it would be Ole Miss, though, but probably without their star quarterback.
That's true. Okay.
I'd be shocked if Jackson Dart plays in whatever bowl game they're in. If he does, more power to him.
Yeah, no question. All right, gentlemen, have a great day.
All right, John.
Thanks, Johnny.
Talk to you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so there's some fun games, but boy, there's a lot of freaking bowl games, man.
What do we have? Up to over 6 now? I can't remember what the exact total of bowl games there are.
I think it's over 60.
I thought it was enough to where 88 teams played. 44? I could be wrong. I thought I remember we looked this up one other time. I'm looking up our page. I'm looking up Hawkfanatic's page views for last week.
Yeah?
70,206 for last week. What do you think of that?
5, 6, 7,
I mean,
8, 9, 31.
we had 29,000 new users last week.
Sounds like a lot.
So, yeah, I mean, these last 3 weeks, let's see, we had 86, 57, and 70. What's 86? That's 143. Yeah, we're over 250,000 just in these last 3 weeks.
So there's 47, it says.
That's right, yeah.
36 bowl games plus the playoff games. So it comes to 47.
So, yeah, it's a lot of games.
A lot of games.
That is definitely a lot of games, and so many of them I won't even pay attention to, and I don't think I'm alone. I don't know how these games are. Well, they don't. They're around. Some of them are around for they change sponsorships every 3 to 5 years.
Well, the first 2 games are this Saturday.
Yeah.
First 2 bowl games.
What's the first one?
South Carolina State versus Jackson State, the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta.
Will you be all over that?
I sure hope not.
You don't think you'll watch that from start to finish?
Sure hope not.
You and Ann have no thoughts of driving down to Atlanta for?
No. Oh, I hate driving through Atlanta.
It's the worst.
It's awful.
Amazing, isn't it?
And their airport's terrible too.
It is.
But no, I've gotten in some of the worst traffic I've ever. There was one time when I was in Atlanta, I didn't move for like an hour and a half. We just sat there.
It's just
I was worried I was going to run out of gas.
Hello.
All right. For the sake of closure, because you brought it up earlier, on last June, Danny Jansen was the catcher for the Boston Red Sox. He got traded to the Blue Jays. He was at bat in the second inning of a game against Boston in Boston. It got rained out, so they resumed the game 2 months later. He got traded to the Blue Jays. So he was behind the plate when they had to pinch hit for him.
Gotcha.
In the same game.
That's right.
Oh, that's funny.
And there you go.
Well, thank you for the rest of the
Thanks,
storytelling. And then also Saturday, if the Celebration Bowl does not excite you, it's the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama, South Alabama versus Western Michigan.
Did I see Joey Labus is in the portal?
Yes.
Again, yes. Yeah.
So I wonder, I mean, where does he go from here? I mean, there just seems like there's just so much, the grass has got to be green over here because I don't like what's going on here. There's so much of that with quarterbacks.
Well, there is. And if there's still a market for Joey Labus, but there probably is.
They're probably, a backup quarterback somewhere.
Or he wasn't terrible.
No, I totally agree.
No, I mean, he wasn't. No, but he wasn't a Big Ten quarterback.
Okay, do you think there's more of a market for Joey Labus than Cade McNamara?
I would say Labus, and limited for both. I mean, like I said, I just can't imagine a Power 4 taking another chance on 25-year-old Cade McNamara in his 7th year with 2 knee surgeries based on what he did at Iowa. I would be stunned.
He just...
But I also don't see Cade. I also don't see Cade McNamara playing at like Cal Poly either because I think he thinks he's better than that.
Yeah.
When you play at Michigan and start, it gets ingrained in your head. Hey, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I would be surprised though if a Power 4 rolls the red carpet out for him like Iowa did. I think Iowa was his one chance and it just didn't work out.
As a backup, maybe.
I guess as a backup, but I don't think Cade. He didn't. I mean, if you're going to be a backup, why not just stay here and be a backup?
Yeah,
he's already here. He knows the guys. I don't think Cade McNamara intends to be a backup anywhere. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he's realistic anymore.
So what level would he?
I mean, if I was you and I wouldn't go after Cade McNamara.
No, I wouldn't either.
Interesting to see where he lands.
Yeah, like I said, I don't wish any ill will to the guy. I just think right now he's a little delusional.
He's kind of damaged goods, yeah.
Well, and I think he's sort of delusional on his opinion of himself right now as a player.
Yeah. Well, I think you said it yourself. When you win the Big Ten as a Michigan quarterback, go to the playoffs, and
you start to think you're pretty good.
Yeah.
And for them, he was good. Oh, before we go, Scott Frost is back at Central Florida. I found that
Isn't
interesting.
that something?
Yeah, Nebraska fans I saw, they say he looks so much more relaxed. Maybe this will be better for him. I mean, he was successful there before. Maybe the weight of trying to be the Nebraska legend, it was too much for him.
Probably takes Nebraska off the hook for a lot of money, too.
Would you rather live in Orlando or Lincoln?
I'm not a big Orlando fan.
I'm not either, but I would probably take it over Lincoln.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I was rich.
Times 1,000.
Would you rather be poor in Lincoln or poor in Orlando?
Well, if you're poor in Orlando, I don't know. It's a money suck there.
I know, but there is poverty in Orlando.
There is.
I mean, I'm not sure. So where would you rather be, poor in Lincoln or Orlando? That's your choice.
I'd rather be poor where it's warm.
Okay. That makes sense. I think if I was poor, really poor.
Yeah, Lincoln would be pretty far down on my list.
Lincoln would be
bleak.
Lincoln would be bleak, even if you were rich.
Yes.
I was not impressed my first time I went to Lincoln for football. I had this big image built up.
Oh yeah.
After watching Nebraska for years on TV, and when I got there, I was like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
It was just kind of I mean, you walk over like an industrial area to get to the. It just, I don't know. It just did not do much for me.
Okay, well, we got to get you out of here, and Mr. Hunter will spin a few tunes until Molly gets here. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hawkfanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.